Okay, last one, we're just going to multiply by I, positive I. Up top, negative 3 times I is negative 3I. On the bottom, negative I times positive I would give you negative I squared. I squared is negative 1. So really, negative 1 becomes positive 1. So you have negative 3I over positive 1 now. And you know that when you divide by 1, it stays the same. So negative 3I divided by 1 is just negative 3I. All right, so hopefully those ones shouldn't be too bad for you. You just got to make sure you get the I off the denominator. Now, these get crazy complicated. They can get complicated because now we have two terms in the denominator, but you guys are so smart, this won't even be a problem. So here's what we're going to do to cancel out that denominator. We're going to turn this into one of those difference of square type problems, right? Remember when we were factoring and it was like you have two things you could square root. You were like x plus 9 and x minus 9. Same idea. So we're going to use a complex conjugate. So if you look at the denominator of the first one, it says 4 plus 4i. So we're going to multiply by 4 minus 4i. And you'll see the magic here in a second. But if you multiply the denominator of a fraction by something, you have to also do it in the numerator. So let's handle all the denominator stuff first. Let me move myself over here, aka right all over the screen. Okay, and it's still there. Okay. So denominator, when you have the same thing except there's 1 plus and 1 minus, that's the one where there was a nice shortcut when we were foiling. The shortcut was you square the first term, 4 squared is 16. You put subtraction, right? Difference of squares. And you square the last term. 4i times 4i would be 16i squared. And then you're like, oh, well, Mr. Plant, I remember that I squared is negative 1, right? So negative 16 times negative 1 would be positive 16. And then our denominator is just 16 plus 16, which equals 32. Sweet. No more i's in the denominator. It's just a regular number, 32 now. So, but we do have to work on the numerator. So 2i times 4 would give you 8i. And 2i times negative 4i would give you negative 8i squared. Now you know that I squared becomes negative 1. So 8i plus 8, because negative 8 times negative 1. So 8i plus 8. Now we can't combine those together, but we should reorder them. So the 8 should go in the front, and the 8i should go in the back. Now, think of this as two separate problems. 8 over 32 and 8i over 32. We can simplify both of those. So if we kind of separate like this, 8 over 32 plus 8i over 32, then we can simplify each of those fractions, and we need to do that. So 8 over 32 would be 1/4, and 8i over 32 would be 1i over 4. So this would be our final answer, 1/4 plus I over 4. And I'd prefer right now that you write it that way. This could technically also be written as 1 plus I over 4. Because they do have the same denominator, that would be fine. But sometimes when they simplify, they might not have the same denominator, and that's okay. So we're going to practice another one of these together, and then I'm going to have you try out a couple.